of information. I've actually, as a registered nurse, I've had patients who were male. I had a male patient who had breast cancer. And we don't think about men having breast cancer, but they can. And so they have to do the same type of assessments, the same type of palpation to see whether or not their breasts have lumps in it. Because men also get breast cancer. At this time, talking about men, our wonderful men that we love, we're going to have Kurt Lyons come and just give a word of encouragement, direction to the men. Is Kurt here? Kurt Lyons? Kurt Lyons, come forward. He's going to address just some issues that men have and give a word of encouragement to the men in terms of health and wellness.
Thank you, Gloria. Just briefly, one of the good things about coming to events like this is the fact that you have so many vendors giving away so much great information and instruction. One of the bad things about events like this is that they're so poorly attended by men, generally. Usually what you find, as in the case today, is most of the men that come are in some way involved or connected to an organization or a vendor that is presently working at the event. And you find very little walk-ins, very little men that are just coming to take advantage of the information, to take advantage of all of the instructional material that's being given out. And we have to offset that because our brothers are suffering. One of the organizations I belong to, we do a lot of work on the street. And one of the things that we find is that a lot of men are just in need of human services. And most of them have absolutely no idea of what's available to them. And so then you ask the question, and what can we do about that? Well, those of us that are connected to these organizations and those of us that do come to events like this, we're going to have to let them know what's available. And one of the easiest ways to do that is just pick a number. Let's just say every man in here, pick 5 men that they will share today's information with. If every man does it, you know what kind of a difference that would make? How many times have you encouraged a man to get prostate screening? Or asked them, have they got their blood pressure checked? Ask them the last time that they've actually had a full checkup. One of the things we've gotten in a habit of doing is when we find out where there's free screening, we literally pick men up and take them there. Because if you just tell them, guess what? They'll never show up. So we've gotten into the habit of physically picking them up and taking them to where this is going on. That's the only way we're going to offset this, because we're ultra concerned about things that we should be concerned about, which is making money, sheltering our money, taking care of our families. But unfortunately, we don't take care of ourselves, so we're not around to enjoy our money or to enjoy our family. And it's sad. It's really sad. And we can do better. It's great to come to things like this and have a day of health and wellness, but it's much better when you design a life of health and wellness. That means that every single day you're doing something for your temper. We get one of these. Now we know we get replacement parts, but we only get one of these. And so when we're young and invincible, we can just run on air. We, drink sodas, eat fast food, and just seem invincible. But there comes an age where those things change, and then our body begins to talk back to us using language that we really don't like. It's painful. And it's telling us, you haven't done enough to take care of me. And so now I can't bear you. The you that lives inside of me, I'm not doing a good job of bearing you. And so then we start trying to do repair work in our 40s and 50s because we really haven't been eating right. We really haven't maintained our exercise regimen. And so for those of us that are already in the 40s and 50s, then we just got to take it one step at a time. and start that slow journey, returning back to health. And sometimes it's as simple as starting to walk. Walking early in the morning, getting fresh air, then walking briskly, then doing a power walk, then jogging, then running, aerobic exercise, weight training. But you have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. Remember, we only get one of these. We got to take better care of it. We haven't been doing a great job. It's time, and you know what? I know I watch a lot of women do it, and men do the same thing as well. We work a lot better and a lot longer when we work out with partners. Get a friend, get somebody that you know will be dedicated to an exercise regimen to work along with you. And then begin to check on each other's diets. You know, with all of the things that I appreciated here today, the one thing I did not appreciate was having to go out and buy my lunch, because as a vegetarian, there was nothing here that I could eat. We really need to do a better job of monitoring what we eat, how much we eat, and the time of day that we eat it. All of those late night meals, you got to start cutting them out, because you're making your digestive system work through the night when it should be resting. So let's do a better job of taking care of ourselves, brothers, all right? All right.
One of the things I like that Kurt said, sometimes we have brothers, we have husbands, we have men that we're associated with, and it would be interesting, quite frankly, if they didn't go to the doctor to take a vacation day, a personal day, and go with them to the doctor's appointment. In terms of sharing. So partnering and sharing with our men, because they are the people who are the leaders in the family and can help to keep the structure together, to make sure that they are well. Because most men do not want to go to the doctor, they shy away, but if I think if they have the support, they'll be more willing to go. And that's for our brothers, our husbands, our uncles, all our male individuals, because we love the men, right? I have a son, I want him to be around for a long time.
So for those people who do have severe persistent mental illnesses, such as schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, major depression, bipolar disorder, there's a lot more to life than just taking pills and being hospitalized. People do recover, whether it's from an anxiety disorder or schizophrenia. Recovery is possible, and that's really what I'm here to talk with you all today about. Is that recovery is absolutely possible. There is life after diagnosis. But the most important thing is to be able to connect with others and to realize the resources that are available in your community. So I mentioned the Mental Health Association. There are a lot of other associations as well, such as FEGS, Family Children's Association. There's all sorts of groups that can help you. Being able to reach out and connect with services that are recovery oriented. What I mean by that is, okay, so you take your medication, you go see a therapist, now what do you do? What do you do with the other 22 hours a day in your life? Getting back into the stream of taking care of yourself, getting back into the workflow, getting back to being productive. Because I heard a gentleman before talking about how it's really important finding your bliss and finding our work. Our work is our meaning. We as Americans are really, it's us, and when we, hi, how do you do? Nice to meet you. What do you do? What we do in our daily life is a big part of what defines us. And if all we are is stuck in a diagnosis, it can be really hard to get out of that. So figuring out, finding what your bliss is, and realizing that no matter what your diagnosis, whether it's diabetes, whether it's anxiety disorder, whether it's breast cancer, or whether it's schizophrenia, recovery is possible. I want to teach you all a really, really simple coping mechanism. As I mentioned that anxiety is probably, and stress is the #1 cause. Well, depression is the #1 cause of suffering in the world. Anxiety is what brings most of us in for seeking some kind of help. And there's something called paced breathing. Paced breathing is really, really easy, and everybody here can benefit from it. You know how when they say, oh, if you're feeling stressed, take a deep breath? not just taking a deep breath. If you take a deep breath in that's calm, but you count to 5, and then your exhalation is to 7 or 8. If your exhalation is longer than your inhalation, what you're doing is tricking your body into thinking that it's falling asleep. It's tricking the parasympathetic nervous system into believing that you are in a relaxed state. So the best way to get panicky is to start breathing like this, right? I can bring on a panic attack right now if I breathe really fast and short and deep, but if I take it slow, and I exhale slowly, I count to 8 when I exhale. This is the way the body gets when we start to fall asleep, and this tricks the body into thinking that we're calm. I promise you, this will absolutely work. You can do it on the subway, you can do it on the bus, you can do it in your car when there's traffic happening everywhere and you want to get out and do something, but you don't have to. You can sit at your desk and exhale, take a nice cleansing breath in, but make sure that you exhale nice, long, and slow. Pace breathing. And what you can start doing is taking note of the times when you start to feel anxious within yourself, what's going on in your life. What's going on right now? There are things you can't control, but there are things that you are. Like I mentioned, your food, your caffeine intake, how you're actually breathing at that moment. How are you in your body? If you're like this, if you're tense, and you just start doing a mental scan and start relaxing every muscle in your body and being okay with reaching out for help. I want to give you a real easy number that you can remember. 516-504-HELP. HELP. 4357. So 516-504-4357, 504-HELP. That's over at the Mental Health Association. We have a free information and referral service. It's available from 9 to 6 every day. You can call. If you're feeling stressed and you need to talk with somebody, you can call us. If you'd like a referral, it's completely confidential. We don't need to know anything about you, but we are here to help you. The earlier you reach out for help and realize that you can do so with confidence and confidentiality, the better off you're going to be in the long run. Thanks so very much.
Very good. Thank you very much. Now we're going to take a moment to do that exercise. Okay, we're breathing in on 4, and we're going to exhale on 8. You ready? Breathing in nose and out your mouth. 1, 2, 3. And then exhale. Oh, I feel better already.
I'm Marcia McNair, and I'm here with Quilla Bailey, and she is the chef and owner of Quilla's Catering. And she is being featured at the Health and Wellness Conference at the African American Museum. And I thought we'd talk to her because I really enjoyed what she had to offer. So thank you so much for agreeing to interview with us.
Thank you for even asking me. And I'm glad you're enjoying the food today.
Now tell me, what did I have? I had some delicious chicken.
Okay.
I had something with string beans and potatoes and a delicious lemonade. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
What you sampled today was the ginger soy grilled chicken. We had a green bean and mango potato salad and herbal lemonade. And those are my choices for a healthy alternative to the backyard barbecue fare. With the ginger soy grilled chicken, you come up with your own sauce and some marinade. Therefore, you really don't need your traditional tomato-based, barbecue sauce, which usually has a lot of sodium and a lot of sugar, even though it tastes wonderful. But if you're looking for maybe not to have that kind of calorie intake, you might want to go with the ginger soy chicken. It has honey in it, ginger, and sesame oil, and it's a lighter fare, and it's really packed with flavor. so you don't miss the sauce, the heavy sauce. The lemonade is a traditional lemonade mix with real lemons, sliced lemons, and a lot of herbs. We had fresh rosemary, basil, and mint, and a little sage. And the secret with that lemonade is that you let it rest. Like as soon as you make it, you can't really taste the flavors, but over time, like say if you let it rest overnight in the refrigerator, even out of the refrigerator, you're going to get a very, very pungent and rich flavor from the herbs. And the green bean and mango potato salad is my home recipe.
Okay.
And I was looking for a recipe that encompassed, the vegetables and the fruits, and just something a little different and light. And it's also very filling. So if someone was a vegetarian and they didn't want to have the meats, all you're really missing are the proteins. So if you maybe added some beans to that, that might be it. But it's, other kinds of beans, like a black bean or white bean or lima bean or something. But the way that it is set up, it's really nice. And again, you're not looking at the traditional mayonnaise base as a mixture, to bring it all together. This is your own dressing. You make your own dressing. And I love it, and people seem to really like it. I'm glad you would.
Oh, I definitely enjoy it.
Yeah.
Now, tell me a little bit about your business, because I've lived in Hempstead, Uniondale area a number of years, and I haven't really heard of Quilla's Catering. When did you start?
Well, Quilla's Catering has been around for a very long time. It was incorporated in 1993.
Wow.
And so that's how old Quilla's Catering is. But I was catering, I went to Johnson & Wales College back in the late 70s, early 80s. But I didn't take culinary. I went there for business. But it was at Johnson & Wales that I got the culinary bug. And graduated school, came home, got married. Now it's 88. I graduated in 81, now it's 88. And I still want to do food. So I attended the New York Restaurant School, which no longer is the New York Restaurant School, Culinary Arts Restaurant Management. And I started Quilla's Catering. And we moved to Hempstead, had our daughters. So the business has been around for a long time. And I was doing both business, the catering, and working full-time as a legal secretary. And in 2003, I left my secretarial job, and I was catering full-time. And I've done a lot of community events, some for money, some, for pay. And within the last 10 years, I've been a volunteer cooking instructor at the Hempstead Boys and Girls Club and for the Promise Project under Family and Children's Organization. So that's probably maybe why you haven't heard of me, because I don't have a storefront. I would love to have one. That's a dream. That's something I'd like to do, is have a kitchen, and call it Quilla's Catering. So maybe that's why you haven't. But I've been around and I've done numerous churches and private organizations and individuals. I do backyard barbecues, I do bereavement repasts, church anniversaries, pastor anniversaries, birthday parties, retirement parties, wedding receptions, you name it. Quilla's Catering, that's it. With as much flair as you dare.
Well, I really like that saying, and I think it describes your food appropriately. You're here at a health and wellness fair.
Yes.
Can you give our listeners any advice about how to cook healthier?
I'm going to say that for starters, anything that you like to eat. A lot of times when people think of healthy eating, they think, oh my God, bland. They think, a little bit of food, that kind of thing. And so we usually don't gravitate toward the healthier eating because it doesn't sound appetizing. It doesn't sound like something that would satisfy us. So my suggestion is that get your favorite recipe, look at it, see what the sugar count is, see what the sodium count is, look at the portion size, you know, and you can divide it in half and make half of that recipe and eat half. You know, thereby you're not taking in as much because immediately you're eating half. Also, you want to look at anything where there's more vegetables. And there's a lot of things you can do with veggies that will really enhance your meal. And you can still have your protein. You know, a lot of times we build our meal around the protein. If it's chicken, if it's a pork chop, if it's steak, whatever. So you look at that portion and you say, I'll eat one pork chop as opposed to 3, you know, and I'll double up on my veggies. Immediately you've made that a more healthy meal for yourself. Cut down on the carbs, that's what I would say. And eat more fruit. And it's what you learned when you were in first grade. You know, if you balance your meals, you know, you won't really have a lot of problems. But that's when we fall into trouble. We don't usually eat the 3 balanced meals. We tend to go with the 1 meal a day, which is wrong, or the 2 meals a day, which is wrong. We should eat smaller meals throughout the day. Start with breakfast. Breakfast doesn't have to be a big buffet. You know, breakfast should be something light, but it should be something, you know, because you want to jumpstart your metabolism. And then from there, you have a little something for lunch. And then you're really not really that hungry. But if you skip that meal, then you're really hungry for the first meal. And that's where you get in trouble, because now you're going to eat more thinking, well, I didn't eat breakfast, so I'm making up. But really, you lost breakfast. You know, don't even look at breakfast. Eat this, but we don't eat the small meal. When we eat the larger meal. And then we're going to eat again another larger meal. Because, you still think I didn't eat breakfast. That's what we tell ourselves. So you get in trouble there. And I could give the advice. I'm really trying to even follow my own advice. So it's to me first and then to our listeners. You know, that advice. And exercise. It's no secret formula for a healthier lifestyle. You really do have to move. You know, you have to get off the couch.
Right. You got to burn up those calories.
You really do. And it doesn't have to be arduous or, you know, painful.
Just walking. Walking is great.
Go to the mall and walk.
Right.
You know, and drink some water. That's it.
Well, how can people get in touch with you if they want more information about what you do and more of your health advice?
Well, they can find me on Facebook, Pullis Catering, and also you can reach me at pulliscatering.com. That's the email address. Pullis@pulliscatering.com is the email address. You can email me if you'd like to get in touch.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And I'll be getting in touch with you. I want some more of that lemonade.
All right. Thank you.